So, you know, it's really impossible to understand reality without understanding. It's like a painting. You can't understand a painting without understanding paint. And the same thing is, you can't understand what people think unless you understand the thoughts. You can't understand a soup unless you understand its ingredients. You get the picture. So, I grew up in America, right here in Kansas City, the heart of America. Everything is beautiful. We had a very simple story. Not saying the story is 100% correct, but the simple story was that America is a great country. We stand for freedom, which is a big thing. And we don't stand for enslaving anyone. And certainly we reject, what happened in the past, whether it was, the harm caused to the Indians, to the blacks, etc. And America was a place that all people were welcomed, and all you had to do was really just do your best. But now we have insanity on the left. Now, it's very important to know what the facts are. So when you want to go to the facts, you might as well go to Pew or Gallup, these massive, nonpartisan polling places. Spend a fortune of money with very good minds on just taking the polls. You see somebody say something, you think that person may be representative, but of what? So the actual facts of the matter are that 40% of the country votes Republican, 40% Democrat, 10% don't vote at all. And the 40% that vote Republican, there are four types of Republicans, and they're very, very, very different. And there are four types of Democrats, and they're very, very, very different. But what's important to note is that the 27% of the country, which make up about 45% of the Republican Party and the active part, are actually not diehard conservatives. And it's very clear. You can look at the stuff. They have graphs. They are actually independents. They just, like myself, side with the Republican Party because it's more closer to their value system. There's only 6% of the country that you can call them, let's call it Trump cult members, because they would be consistently doing what Trump thinks. But the scary side is that there's 27% of the country that are diehard liberals, all the way on the left, and they are Obama cult members. Whatever Obama thought, that's what they do. And so we have to understand, how do we get from a country that believed, I shouldn't say a country, again, because most Americans are actually conservative. So most Americans are Americans. But there is a very large element, and again, it's this 27% make up 45% of the Democratic Party and the most active part, and we're seeing it very much, and they have the power now. And what they're going to enact is based on what they believe. And what they believe, of course, is every single perverted, insane sexual predilection. That's true, but marriage is not. I'm not going to go through all of it. One thing is more crazy than the next. But where did they come up with this stuff? Who comes up with insanity like this? I just saw this thing, this boy, he decides he's a girl, and doctors castrate him. It's insanity. So the answer, quite simply, is Russian disinformation. Russia, quite brilliantly, you got to give them credit, they figured out how to destroy America. And what they realize is that, and this is what they do, all the spies that have defected to the West tell us this is what they're doing. So you don't know better than their own spies, the people that were trained by them. What they do is very simple. They find the craziest people. They find the people that are, literally nuts. When you think that if I thought I was a raccoon, I'd be put into a mental asylum. So if a person thinks that they're a sex that they're not, they're mentally insane. And so what they do is they find those mental people and they basically help them along. They bring them, and I know a guy that was a former KGB operative, and he told me directly, it's a very simple mechanism to take a crazy idea and make it normal. You sort of get, and many of these kind of offshoot magazines are actually made by Russia or sponsored by Russia. And all you need to do is make an article, and then somebody in a more normal magazine writes an article about that crazy article. But meanwhile, they bring the idea into the consciousness, like Inception. And before you know it, you have people that are literally murderers. That's how Hitler did it. The Democratic Party today are murderers. They allow babies to die. I mean, we're not even talking about murdering an unborn child. We're talking about literally taking a baby out of the womb and allowing it to die. That's a murderer. And so we're talking about pure Nazis. They want to finish what Hitler started. They want to destroy Israel. And so if you're a Jew, you need to wake up, because you have become part of a Nazi party. And the Nazis, you should know, did not begin with the absolute radical notion, oh, we're going to kill the Jews. They began exactly like the Democratic Party was. Oh, we're holy people, we're good people, the Jews are bad. And in the end, it led to its natural conclusion.